Hey everybody, this is Tony from TandATV bringing you Week 7 of the GBA D-League. We are really close to being on schedule, back on track, unlike previous weeks, so I'm pretty pumped about that and hope you guys are too. So along with me again this week is the coach of the Duckletts, Adam.
Well, hello.
So this week was against John of Crystal Palace, which I think is a really great name, and it also works really well too because he has Cresselia. So shout out to John for that. So I will talk about the team that Adam brought real quick because I kind of helped him think about some things he could bring, and he told me what he was bringing, so that worked out well too. So Adam brought a Regirock, which has not seen play at all this season for the Duckletts, but it comes in real clutch this battle, so you will see that. But he's a standard kind of stealth rocker setup, you know, just kind of utility Pokemon, but he does some pretty unique things this battle.
He's an ace of spades, if you will.
He is, for sure. So also along with that is Heatran, mainly because John doesn't really have too many good checks to Heatran outside of maybe Excadrill, but Excadrill can't ever switch in on Heatran, and, you know, Azumarill doesn't really appreciate a burn. Next is Togekiss, which is kind of odd when you think about John having 3 strong steel types, but it actually worked well in both battles against John this season. So that's another good Pokemon, I think, for Adam to bring. The next one is the standard Venusaur, who, you know, is just a great overall Pokemon and can take an adamant Brave Bird from Banded Talonflame, which is pretty crazy. Next is Vaporeon, who Adam has brought to every battle and has put in lots of work. And then last but not least is Thundurus, who is the current MVP of the Duckletts.
Well, I've actually brought both of those Pokemon to each battle
That's
so
true,
far this
yeah.
year. So my standard core right there. So for John's team, I'm just going to call him Origins, he brought pretty much kind of what I expected him to bring. The Talonflame I figured he was going to bring since Mega Venusaur did a number to his team last time. Excadrill had to come if he's bringing Talonflame to keep the rocks off the field. The only thing that kind of surprised me was the Mega Houndoom. Normally I would expect to see Raikou in there because actually Raikou was leading his team considerably with kills. So I kind of expected to see that there. But aside from that, it seemed pretty standard to what I really thought he was going to have. So I guess with that, we can probably get into the battle here shortly.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. I think, to be fair, also, Mega Houndoom is a decent bring for him because it is, you know, the strong fire moves. It has a really good dark stab, which we don't really have any good resistances for on our team.
Other than Terrakion.
Right. But other than that, I think Houndoom is still a good Pokemon that I think he really underused this season. But I think, you know, people will kind of hate it on him for that choice. But I think in a league like this where there aren't too many strong dark types, I think Houndoom is a decent play. But I guess along with Hydreigon, maybe it's a little bit overkill. But let's get the battle started. I'll stop talking.
So I led off with Regirock because I knew that he wasn't going to die to any move that anybody wanted to go for, barring Specs Draco Meteor from Hydreigon. John leads off with Jirachi. I'm hoping he's maybe going to predict me to switch out and go for a U-turn so I can get my rocks up. Unfortunately, he goes for Iron Head, and as Jirachi normally does, gets the flinch. I wasn't sure what he was at this point. It's my safe switch was going into Vaporeon. If he wasn't Scarf or Banded, he could go for U-turn here, but he stays in and goes for Iron Head again. Kind of telling me that maybe either he didn't predict or he is locked into something.
Right, and he does get a crit there, which doesn't really matter, except, well, I guess it could matter as we go to this play coming up here.
Yeah, so I go with Scald just for hopefully getting a burn on that Jirachi, because then I can just wall it to hell and back. I do get a burn on the Hydreigon, which was good for me, because last time he brought a mixed Hydreigon, which didn't enjoy the burn, and this one also doesn't enjoy the burn. I'm just going to go for a safe Protect here to kind of see what he wants to do. Again, I'm not sure if he's AV, if he's choice locked or what, but at this point I know that I can really survive anything unless he's switches somehow to be Specs again to to use Draco on me.
Right.
But he does switch it up and predicts me to stay in, which was a great play on his part.
It was.
He goes for the Draco. Now, it does considerably more than I thought it was going to because he gets another critical hit.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because that kind of cost Vaporeon the match, really, for him. He was not going to be able to do too much the rest of this battle with that little HP.
So, right here on this play, for me, the safest play is probably to go for Protect. You know, if Hydreigon wants to U-turn out, I block it. If he wants to hard switch, then okay, that's fine. Unfortunately, John plays really well and predicts me to do the Protect and gets a free switch into Houndoom, which is kind of risky if I went for a Scald, but at this play I have to stay in here because I know that Mega Houndoom can do Nasty Plot, and I don't want him getting that up for free.
Right.
So I have to stay in here.
Unfortunately, John also makes another good play here. He doesn't go for Nasty Plot. He just goes for the Dark Pulse just to take out Vaporeon. Which was unfortunate because Vaporeon was a pretty decent check to Azumarill, and even Talonflame to a degree.
So at this point, I know that I can survive any one move, and I can finally get my rocks up, which is crucial for me with that Talonflame around.
Right, and that was great that you were able to threaten him out there.
Yeah. So he brings in the Azumarill to try and threaten me out. Unfortunately, I have a little surprise for this Azumarill. I thought it was going to outspeed because we viewed it to be such, but this beautiful play from this beautiful monster. The explosion.
Not only explosion, it's normal gem explosion.
Normal gem boosted explosion is able to get the rocks up and then take Azumarill out with him, which is just beautiful. Like again, he only was in for what, 3 turns? Yep. And he did exactly what we wanted him to do.
I think that really turned the match. I really do. I think that really changed the whole dimension of the match.
At this point, I thought he would Scarf, and I thought he'd go for U-turn. My safest play was to just kind of let him do that, because unless he wanted to go for Ice Punch, it wasn't really going to do anything to me. And I just U-turned after him to get initiative. He brings a smart play in and brings Hydreigon just to sack it, which again was another great play by John. But I have to figure out what I want to bring in. And for me, the best thought is to bring in Venusaur, because that keeps him from being able to bring in Excadrill safely and get a rapid spin off. And it also allows me to do my Mega.
Right, and that also prevents his Talonflame. If he wants to try to bring that in, it would take the Rocks damage and then can't kill you with the Brave Bird, so he can't do that either.
Right. So he thinks that he's going to scare me off with his Mega Houndoom on my Mega Venusaur. Unfortunately, I'm not really scared about it because of the fact that I have thick vet. I'm just so bulky that I'm really not worried about it. So I just go for the Sleep Powder here as he tries to Nasty Plot up on maybe the potential switch.
Right. I will say that if you missed that Sleep Powder, you would have been in a little bit of trouble at that point.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. He stays asleep for his first mandatory turn, and I get a sub up, which is beautiful. Now, unfortunately for him, he stays asleep for another turn, which kind of sucks because now I can do some damage while behind a sub. And you'll see, even though this is basically a zero invest special attack, Mega Venusaur does a monstrous amount to that Mega Houndoom. And sadly, he gets a third term of sleep, which really, really sucks for him because now I have a Mega Venusaur behind a sub, which is just awful. Awful for him to try and deal with, especially with the last remaining mons that he has.
Right. Now here, I thought about this play after watching this again. I don't know if I agree with Talonflame right here. He obviously needs to break your sub, but I think he could have done that with U-turn, and as long as he has an odd HP number, he could come back in one more time. Because
I don't know if he'd be able to break it. I mean, I'm max defense, and that's not stab, not super effective.
If he's banded, I think he probably could have. But even with that, I think he, if he didn't want to do that, I think he could have gone into Jirachi or something else. And I guess, yeah, he probably was just worried he couldn't take out the sub. I think with something else he could have. But
yeah, but at this point, I know that he has to go for either Zen Headbutt or Iron Head. And so my best play is just to go into my specially defensive Heatran, who really just laughs at that Iron Head, even though it's another critical hit. I didn't even notice that actually during the battle. So I can just go for a pretty safe Lava Plume here, and somebody is not going to be happy about that. And that somebody happens to be Excadrill. Which, after thinking about it a little bit, after you see this play, I do a considerable amount. So he's clearly not Assault Vest and you see no leftover. So he's clearly either Scarf or Banded. So my safest play is to go into Togekiss, who's pretty expendable at this point.
Right.
If he wants to go for Iron Head, then we die, that's fine. But he goes for EQ, which locks himself into EQ, unfortunately, and I get a kill with Togekiss.
Yeah, I mean, people may think, why did he stay in there if he's locked in Earthquake? But that was really the right play, because he can't bring in Jirachi on a Flamethrower and take that. Right. It just wouldn't have been the right play. So John made another good play there.
And unfortunately for him, with the 4 Pokemon that I have left, no good move does he have to lock himself into. His best play is Iron Head, and hopefully can flinch everyone ever to death. Unfortunately, he does, let's see, after leftovers, he's done 3 damage to me so far.
So it's going to take a while. It's going to take a long while.
he may indeed start to struggle after a while, but all I really need is to get 1 or 2 hits off, and especially if I do a Lava Plume burn, it's more than, I mean, it's already a good game now, but it will be even more good game at that point. So at this point, the battle is won. Unfortunately, we probably could have sped this up, but it gives us a little bit more talking points to talk about. I'm gonna quickly make mention of the fact that I failed our loyal subs in getting the Coach's Corner out last week. I guess I'll take a couple of moments to explain what our thought process is for the uploads of the previous battles that we missed.
Yeah.
We're gonna get all the GBA actual season battles out first. Those will come up as soon as we're done with the season and postseason, because as this happens with this win, we actually locked ourselves into being into the postseason. So the Duckletts and I will be there after week 8 to hopefully vie for the championship. And you just saw the end of that battle, so it'll be interesting. Right now, we're actually, the Duckletts and I, we're plus 10 after this win.
Yep. Which
puts me at actually 2nd place in the league. I have a +1 differential over George Septile MC currently. So pretty interesting to be able to come back with the 2 losses that I have and still be 2nd. No one's ever catching Miguel ever. I think we could potentially play. Let's see. We could potentially play season. We could play season 2, and Miguel just not be in it. And I don't really know if I had my combined plus differential if I could ever reach him now. So
there's a chance, not a good chance, but there's be a chance.
There's a chance. If everyone just forfeits and gives me 6-0s the entire time. But so I've made it in. We're gonna be able to do that. That'll be good. The placing for me, George, and Sam is not set. Obviously Miguel is number 1. We're kind of vying for week 8 to see who plays him first round.
Yeah, what's interesting too is that you play Sam and George plays Miguel. So that's really interesting because both those battles are very important, and the 4 of you, well, 3 of the 4 of you will change spots determined by the outcome of those battles. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically, it's possible for me, myself, to battle any 3 of those people. Any 3 of them. Depending on how wins and the differential of each win goes, I could battle any 3 of them. So we're going into week 8. Definitely going to plan for Sam because I want to go in strong, not limping into the playoffs. But so there we go. And I guess I'd jump back again to the point. We will be uploading the battles that we missed, or at least the ones that we still have videos of, and we'll get that content to you guys. I apologize wholeheartedly for not getting that out.
Yeah, so hopefully the Duckletts will bring you some more fun stuff soon, so you can get more involved. And the playoff push is coming, so once week 8 will happen pretty early next week, just because of Christmas, coming this week and trying to get that battle out of the way before the holidays really kick in. So that battle should be up probably definitely within a week of this battle going up. So hopefully you'll see that one soon. And then after that, maybe we could do a short video talking about the playoffs And
I definitely agree.
I think that'd be cool.
Maybe a coach's corner that should have gone up. I don't really know.
That could work. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like, please. Sub, comment, whatever you want to do. And Adam or I will get back to you. So keep rooting for the Duckletts. The playoff push is coming. And stay tuned because Week 8 battle against Sam will be coming shortly. And then after that, here come the playoffs. So hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace.